Good morning, everyone. My name is Sean Edwards. I work at Exverus Media. Sometimes people call it Exverses. But I work at Exverus Media, and I'm here to chat about The Chosen. So Exverus is based in Hollywood, California. We're an independent agency. I take the walk to the office on Hollywood Boulevard with the Walk of Fame. I cross the Dolby Theater, the Chinese Theater, and we're really rooted in just the Hollywood magic. Now, jumping into our 20-minute journey here, I have an intro. We're going to look at the different challenges that we came across, our strategy, tactical precision, lastly the results, how it all turned out, and then saving some time for a Q&A. Quick question. Who has heard of the show The Chosen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, about like 10, 12. Not bad. For those of you who have not seen it or heard of it, let me catch you up. Don't worry, there's no spoilers. So what's been really great about this show is it was crowdfunded, which is incredible. It's been across all of the major streaming services, currently right now exclusively on Amazon Prime, but it's been on Hulu, Roku, Netflix, a ton of different services, and we're 5 seasons deep. This wasn't our first rodeo getting into the theatrical. So last year in 2024, they did drop season 4 in theaters, which our team helped put on screen. So we did digital out of home in LA, we did static, we did CTV display, and they did a great premiere in downtown LA at the Ace Hotel. They had the crew there, the cast, a lot of just great fans. And it was able to tell that, they really had a lot of momentum. Now, jumping into the challenge. With 2024 theatrical, as mentioned, they had a ton of fans. But the problem was they did a study, and about only 50% of the viewers actually knew that it was in theaters, which is a really big problem. So going into season 5, obviously increase theatrical awareness beyond that 50%, drive theatrical ticket sales, as well as awareness and consideration lift. But I forgot to mention, this wasn't just the United States. We went global. So 21 countries from Canada, Mexico, Latin America, Asia, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, all around the world. So, really had to take that into consideration as well. Now jumping into our strategy, this is straight from the brief. So really creating a community moment. It did run around March to April, so during the Easter holiday. And they really wanted to eventize the Chosen Last Supper in theaters. Not only among core audiences, but how do you grow it to the broader audience of the world? And what's really amazing is they really had breakthrough creative, and most importantly, how do we get it through this historical drama? And the historical drama piece is going to tie in a few times during this, so get ready. Who our core audience is? Our target was insiders, so adults 35 plus. They go to the movies, they go to church weekly. We also had fans, very similar, 35 plus. They do enjoy the movies. They participate here and there in church, and they follow and watch the show. So they are avid fans of The Chosen. But then going beyond just the fan, the religion aspect, we did have another audience called Relaxed Religious, which skewed younger, so 18 to 35, hitting more of those millennials. They enjoy going to the movies. They go to church maybe just on weekends or holidays. They are casual viewers of the show. Maybe they haven't fully caught up. And this brand does an amazing job with their social media and really getting fans into the moment, into the brand. And what was interesting about this is they really wanted to move beyond viewers and touch on people who haven't engaged with that brand beyond that aspect. So they're not like the purest. Now, what do those all have in common? Every aspect of the audience included viewership. But again, how do we grow outside of that? I want you to meet history-loving Harry. So Harry is around 35 to 40 years old. He may live in Charlotte, North Carolina. His interests include history, if you couldn't tell, retirement planning, comics, aka graphic novels. And the reason that we bring history-loving Harry up is this is a historical drama. So, really going beyond that religion aspect. Now that we have the audience, we have some data to run with, we really needed to bring this show to life beyond the TV screen. And in steps iconic Vogue photographer Annie Leibovitz. This looks like a piece of art. It's a photograph. It's honestly amazing. We worked with a lot of pieces that she had to do with creative, from video to display, and you'll see some more of that. Now, how do you jump and start from all of that, and how do you kick it off? And there's only one way to do it, to really turn this art into a moment, and that's a New York Times Square takeover. So, as you can see, there was a lot of fans, some folks crying. It was a really great moment. I mean, even our agency being based in LA, we were tapping into live streams of New York and Times Square and trying to just get glimpses of the moment. Obviously, they captured a whole lot better than that. But with great moments lead to great organic press. So we got picked up on Variety, we got picked up on Yahoo Entertainment, as well as a lot of great publishers. So really just building momentum there. Now, what's next after that? Obviously, you do a Times Square takeover, it gets press, but where do you fill in those gaps? So social media, search, programmatic, all leading to that goal of big box office numbers. Now, with search and all of the organic traffic, I know we were talking about branded search a little bit earlier. Our search team was ready with tons of keywords to really take this moment and be able to utilize, ads from that aspect in social media. We used a lot of creator content, as well as just fun Snapchat filters. Again, trying to get, your general audience to play around and be in the moment. So now that the table's been set, let's hop into some programmatic. So we continued with the big moments. As I mentioned, this was in March and April. So we went big with March Madness. We were able to tap into that programmatically via a few different vendors. And what we did, most importantly, was we didn't run any targeting. We really tried to stay in the moment, stay organic, and really try to meet the masses. And then we also took over YouTube nationally and globally. So we had YouTube mastheads on the YouTube site, YouTube TV, Google TVs, which came out really great. We utilized YouTube Shorts to really try to bring in the social aspect, and a lot of other placements as well. But there was one problem. The Chosen has a YouTube channel, around 3.5 million subscribers, but we couldn't use it. Google flagged us for religious privacy reasons, and we couldn't utilize that amazing first-party data from our YouTube channels. So the good news is we did plan beyond those chosen viewers. As I said, they're extremely loyal. Something extremely cool that they did was one of the seasons they had 2,000 fans come and be extras in the show. I'm sure we could all hope that we would be an extra or play a part in our favorite show. So again, they do a really amazing job of building that brand loyalty. We tapped into, religion aspects, whether that's Christian viewership, Christian and gospel music. We also we utilized our search team for great keywords, and then lastly, we tapped into, that TV movie lovers, people who are, going to the theaters, as well as book lovers, documentary. So really trying to tap into that historical, nonfiction aspect. And lastly, we jumped into large video formats. Again, we had amazing artwork to work with, and then we made sure to run across a lot of the distributors that we have ran in the past. So your Netflix, your CW, your Hulu, and really making sure that we are getting those viewers who may have possibly watched it in the past, and really bringing the art to life. And that didn't just stop with CTV. We used a lot of engaging creative units, from online videos to panel units, and really being able to try to get the user to explore a whole lot more. Not just beyond the ad itself, but really learn about the story and what they're going to get into. And rounding out our channel mix, I touched on CTV, OLV, rich media, and then one that I know the panels have kind of touched on a little bit as well is audio. Audio was a really key piece for us. Obviously, visually, it looks amazing. And then how do you tap into that other sense throughout that person's day? And with audio, we really felt, we ran on Pandora, ran on other providers, and our planning team really was key on certain providers. And what we actually ended up finding out was it was podcasts, religious podcasts. It was other providers that we didn't think we were going to put all our budget into. But again, that's how you kind of give your campaigns time to learn, to grow, and then the data kind of starts speaking for itself. You optimize towards that, and ultimately, we saw really great success with audio and being able to tie those other channels together. And as you can see here, just a few touch points. So, whether that's CTV, multiple exposures, to a panel, display asset, or audio to CTV to display. But really just showing that consumer journey and multiple touch points. And, that's one of the cool things about programmatic, is we get to, have our hand on everything, whether it's data, whether it's different channels. And so I definitely would recommend not to pigeonhole into one, because you get to learn how they all work together, and really just grow your campaigns. Now, let's get into the results. It was a box office hit, which was incredible. Our team worked extremely hard. The clients worked extremely hard. So really being able to see box office success was awesome. We did about 58 million globally in box office. Again, this is not a movie. This is a TV show. So it's, a lot of great dollars behind it. 6.1 million tickets. Across our campaigns alone, 1.6 billion impressions across the globe, 22 countries overall, 217 million unique reach. So we did sell tickets, but what did that really mean for the brand? Branded search took record heights. If you can see, you have season 4 and I believe season 3 on the left, and then season 5 peaked incredibly. And then if you remember, I mentioned, half of the viewers hadn't seen the show. We moved that needle to 72%. So really great increases, not just from brand search, but viewership as well. Now, what about those non-viewers in relaxed religious? We ran a third-party study, and we were able to see about a 10.6% increase from folks who attend church on major holidays. If they go a couple times a month, 6.7% increase, as well as heard of the show but never watched. And then about 5.5% increase in historical dramas. So we really grew the awareness, the consideration beyond those viewers in this campaign. Now, I do have one final question. How many have you heard of The Chosen now? All right, awareness is up again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sean. Questions from the audience? I have one question, actually. So as you were talking through all of the different channels that you're activating on, what we heard from Tom Burchell earlier in the morning on the panel was, how do you avoid cannibalization when there's so many different ways to buy media across the same channel? So can you talk to us a little bit about how you approached that?
Yeah, at least from a programmatic perspective, obviously so many channels in the mix. Beyond the YouTube aspect, we really utilize one DSP. And what we really try to do was retarget off of each channels. We had campaign frequency caps. So, we tried not to be annoying in the best way possible, but still be able to reach those users throughout their daily journey.
Cool.
Hi, Francesca with Screenburst. Question about the March Madness activation. You had mentioned that you were going for more of a global kind of general reach. So how did that play in when you were thinking about your audience, and your audience seemed more specific? How did that either enhance that overall or play into, we might be reaching new users, et cetera?
Yeah. So obviously, March Madness is just a huge sports moment. Super Bowl Sunday is gigantic in our industry. In March Madness, we felt, perfect timing. Our campaigns were running March to April. Viewership is extremely high. There's tons of just general people, whether they're sports fans, not sports fans, that are really just trying to take over that moment. And it was really, I think, on our end, just being in the right place, that big moment, and trying to reach as many people as we could. One thing, and I try not to hit on it a lot, but He Gets Us does the Super Bowl, and that brings everyone talking. And so I think it was kind of just a nice play on that. But ultimately, we did see really strong success, and I think it really just brought out the masses.
Okay, thank you so much, Sean.
Awesome,
For those
thank
of
you.
you who wanting to dive deeper on retail media networks, et cetera, Sean will be hosting one of our round table sessions today at noon.